The following podcast is brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is your number one source for the best deals on sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, and a whole lot more. Go to SeatGeek.com or download the SeatGeek app and use promo code BLUESEATS for $20 off your first purchase. That's promo code BLUESEATS only at SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast. Let there be live. What's going on, Rangers fans? My name is Jimmy Fanizzi, and this is From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast presented by SeatGeek. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BlueSeats94 and use the hashtag BlueSeats to interact with us on any and all topics at hand. Make sure that you subscribe on YouTube and on all audio platforms as well, and be sure to rate us 5 stars. It would mean the world to us. Also, make sure that you subscribe and follow the Hockey Podcast Network on YouTube and on all social media at HockeyPodNet. We've got wall-to-wall coverage of every single team in the National Hockey League, so you should subscribe to the Hockey Podcast Network right now if you are not already subscribed. And again, follow on social media as well. All right, so you can probably tell by the tone of my voice that I'm not in the most jovial mood right now. It's not just because the Rangers have been struggling mightily lately. I've actually been dealing with some mental health issues as of late, still trying to balance out my work and life schedule, which still is not an easy path, but it's mainly been a lot of mental health issues. So I do apologize if I don't sound that happy-go-lucky, but you got to remember that we're all just humans. We may be behind a microphone, but we're all human beings. We're all going through stuff. So I do apologize, but I am doing a little bit better than I have been. So I just wanted to let you know now. This way, there's no confusion as to where anybody's going to say, oh, why does he not sound like his usual self? Well, that's the reason why. Also, if you've been watching on the YouTube side as of recently, you've noticed that there's been no actual video of me the past few episodes, and I do sincerely apologize about that too. I am currently in the process of getting a new webcam for my laptop until I can get my other one fixed, because for some reason my webcam does not like me, except for when I live stream. I do have an announcement on that, by the way, and also a very special event announcement to make at the end of this episode. So stay tuned for both of those things. But anyway, all of that aside, because I know I've bored you long enough with all that stuff there. Let's get into the crux of things, shall we? As of this episode, because obviously things can change, but as of today, January 25th, the New York Rangers are 3-5-2 in their last 10 games. They just finished a 4-game West Coast road trip. All right. They played Vegas. They played the Kings. They played Anaheim. And they played San Jose. Now, you would think that any logical fan out there would say, you know what? Maybe they can at least do a 500 road trip. Win 2, lose 2. And in my head, I thought about it, and I said, I figured they were going to lose to Vegas, because Vegas is the defending Stanley Cup champion. It's Vegas. So they lost to them 5-1. And I said, you know what? It's frustrating, but not a big deal. Move on to the next game. Then you get to LA. Now, LA, going into that game, they had only won one game in their last 11 or 12 games, I believe. The Kings were struggling mightily, and the Rangers lose that one 2-1. Again, another frustrating loss. But then you get to Anaheim, where they were down 2-0 in the second period. But then they woke up and they won 5-2. Now, Anaheim being one of the worst teams in the NHL, you think they should win that game. They should win that game handily. It didn't look like it at first, but they ended up handling their business in Anaheim. And you say, you know what? Okay, fine. Now you got an easy game in San Jose. All will be fine with the world again. Well, the Rangers said, hold my beer. Because, first of all, let me say, if you stayed up to watch any of these games on the West Coast, like I did, my condolences to you. But San Jose is the worst team in the NHL this season. I think we can all agree on that, right? But they won 3 in a row at the time of this recording, so hey, give them credit. They won 3 in a row. So the Rangers come into that game absolutely dominating, right? They're up 2-0 in the third period. You think everything's going to be A-okay. They're going to win a couple of games in a row, and then they're going to come back home, face Vegas again. It's going to be a rematch game. Everybody's going to be hyped up for it. It's a nationally televised game. But then the third period happened. Again. The San Jose Sharks scored 2 goals in a matter of 2 minutes and 4 seconds. They force overtime. And they lose 3-2. And who burns them yet again? Tomas Hertl. That same Tomas Hertl who scored 4 goals against the Rangers in his rookie season, who literally sent Martin Biron into retirement. That Tomas Hertl. He burns them yet again. And the Rangers finish the road trip 1-3. 1-3. Now, that road trip is not the only way that the Rangers have been struggling recently. Like I said, they're 3-5-10, or 3-5-2, I should say, in their last 10 games. So they have been on a crash course lately. They have just looked terrible. There's no sugarcoating it. As of this episode, this team is terrible. Nobody is coming through. Nobody. Mika Zibanejad, I don't know where he's been recently, but he has looked awful. He has been making way too many mistakes, especially during that overtime in San Jose. Ooh, don't get me started on that. Erik Gustafsson has been an absolute turnover machine lately. Jacob Trouba all of a sudden forgot how to be the captain. Keandre Miller, I don't know what the heck is going on with Keandre Miller lately. I know that he took some personal time away for personal reasons, but whatever is going on with him, I really would strongly consider him to take some extra time away to work on himself, because he looks absolutely lost right now. He looks lost. Keandre Miller is a promising young defenseman. He's only 24 years old, and I really would hate to see him go toward a downward spiral like the way he is right now. So whatever's going on with Miller, please, for the love of God, take some time away to focus on yourself and get your head back in the game. We all want you to succeed in this league. Please. Oh, and to those quote-unquote Ranger fans who want to simply just pick apart Keandre Miller for every single time that they lose because for some reason everything's his fault, right? That is unacceptable behavior, and I am not going to stand for it. Some of you need to get a grip. I got a message to the fans in a little bit. Well, not all of the fans, but some of the fans on social media. But we'll get to that later. But the bottom line is, the only 2 or 3 players right now that you can say are still playing at an elite level despite the fact that they're struggling so much are Artemi Panarin, Vincent Trocheck, And I know Ranger fans are not going to want to hear this, but Igor Shesterkin. And I know what you're going to say to me. Igor has sucked his last few games. Are you watching the same thing we are? Yeah, I am. Are you watching the same thing that I'm watching? Because from what I'm watching, once again, the team is not helping him. Now, has he had a good year? He's had an okay year. Look, it's not an Igor Shesterkin type of year. He hasn't looked like himself. I completely understand that. He's let in a couple of soft ones as of late. I don't know if he's playing hurt, but something is clearly off with Igor Shesterkin. However, can we put to bed that it's all a one-person effort? Because I'm hearing it from a bunch of fans saying, oh, you always have to have that one elite player. Put that to bed immediately. Sports is a team effort. Keyword, team! I understand that you're going to have one or two elite players on your team, or eventually becoming elite players, but even still, it's unfair to rely on one particular player for success every night. With the Rangers, they heavily rely on their goaltending. And you know what? It's not fair. It's not fair to Igor, and it sure as hell ain't fair to Jonathan Quick. You cannot sit here and tell me that you expect Igor Shesterkin every single night to go out there and make 45 saves and have the game of his life. That's not how sports works. Every good player in any sport is going to have a bad game. They're going to have a bad season even. And Igor Shesterkin, I'm not going to say it's a bad season, but it's not an Igor Shesterkin type of season that, you know, he's not the same Igor Shesterkin this year. That's the bottom line of what I'm trying to say. But has he been god-awful? No, he hasn't been god-awful. The team has been god-awful around him. This is why, for me personally, going into the year 2024, I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to keep my expectations low for everything. Because you know what? Lower expectations in life often leads to greater happiness. So, I get it. New York is a big market. There's always going to be high expectations. Totally understand that. Being a New York sports fan all my life, I get it. But maybe, just maybe, if the expectations were lowered a little bit, maybe, just maybe, they might actually do something in New York sports, a la the New York Knicks, who haven't won a championship since 1973, the New York Giants, the New York Yankees, and even the Rangers, who haven't won a cup in 30 years! Or at least it'll be 30 years, but even still, that's beside the point. I know it's easier said than done for New York sports fans, but can we learn to keep our expectations low for a certain athlete or a team? Because you can't expect them to go out there and have a great game every single time. That's not how it works. That's not how life works. If the team is not helping him, call the team out, not just the goalie. Yes, the goalie's going to give up a couple of soft ones every now and then. The goalie's going to have a bad game. And we will call them out for it if needed. But the team's got to help. Period. And the Rangers are not helping out in any way, shape, or form right now. They're not scoring as much. They forgot how to block shots. And they turn the puck over at an alarming rate. Alarming. I'm not going to full on hit the panic button now, but I would be concerned about a potential division title slipping away from them. I need to step aside and calm down for a bit. We'll get back into this conversation after a word from DraftKings. Listen, we know hockey games move fast, but with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you can score faster than anything happening on the ice. This week, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Want Vezina Trophy odds? Thatcher Demko at plus 380, Jeremy Swayman at plus 550. I would go with Thatcher Demko, but that's just me. What you want to bet on is up to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. New customers can bet just $5 on the NHL and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/hockey terms for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gambling resources. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. Copyright NHL 2024, all rights reserved. All right, so we're in the middle of discussing the Rangers' mighty struggles as of right now. So, if you're going to ask me what the main reason for their struggles are, I outlined 3 of them. But I think the main reason for the Rangers' struggles right now is they're just not scoring. And why is that? Because they're not shooting. One of my arguments with this team is that they are so hesitant to shoot the puck when there is an open lane because they'd rather go for the pretty pass and find somebody else that's open. Well, if there's nobody open and if there's a lane open, just shoot it. Shoot the puck. It really is not that difficult of a concept. Putting the puck on net can do wonders for you. The Rangers have not been putting the puck on the net, and there aren't enough people around the net either. Now, why do I say that? Because who has been a master of deflecting pucks in the net? Chris Kreider. Where is he in front of the net? Where is Zibanejad in front of the net to pick up a rebound? Where is Will Cooley? Where is anybody to pick up a loose rebound in front of the net? Why aren't they helping? There is not enough offense on this Rangers team right now. And quite frankly, that is concerning. Especially given the fact that, yes, you're still in first place in the Metro at the time of this recording, but you're letting that slip away. The Philadelphia Flyers, out of all teams this year, are breathing right down your necks in second place. Now, you may ask yourself how the Flyers are so damn good this year. It's because of John Tortorella. Because if you think about it, the Philadelphia Flyers really are not that talented of a team, but John Tortorella continues to bring out the best in his players. I thought the game had passed him by, but clearly I was wrong, and I am not happy about it because I hate the Flyers, but I digress there. They're breathing down your necks, and you're potentially going to let them climb above you to win that division? I don't think so. Now, I didn't pick the Rangers to win the division anyway. I picked Carolina to win the division this year. But the Rangers got themselves in this position in the first place because they have been so dominant with shooting the puck. They haven't been so hesitant as much. They've been blocking shots left and right. They've actually been playing better in front of their goalie. They've been so dominant all year that they're in this position. And now they're potentially letting it slip because they forgot what made them so dominant all season long. Do you now see why I don't trust this team when it comes to the playoffs? Do you see now why I didn't pick them to win the Stanley Cup? It's because of moments like this. As of right now, because again, anything can change after this episode airs. But as of right now, this team sucks. End of sentence. You cannot convince me otherwise. Now, to wrap up this episode here, I have a bit of a message for the Ranger fans. Now, not all Ranger fans, because a majority of them are logical. But there are a select few that are just really out there, have no idea what they're talking about, and really make some inappropriate comments about certain players. But I'm not going to get into all that because this is not that type of show. But to those fans out there who just want to be disrespectful to players, who want to call out the other fans for quote unquote being optimistic about their team. Look, it's okay to be optimistic and to worry about your team. That's currently me right now. I'm still optimistic that they're going to make the playoffs, but I'm worried right now because they are looking horrible right now. It's okay to feel that way. But to those fans who are constantly putting the players and other fans down, just stop. I'm sick and tired of it. You know, I understand that social media is a cesspool anyway, but even still, I've been seeing a bunch of really nasty comments toward Ranger fans, toward Ranger players, toward just other hockey fans in general. Like, do you have nothing better to do with your lives other than just sit in front of a keyboard and just spew hate? It's not okay. It really isn't. These hockey players have lives. They're human beings like us. Stop putting them down constantly and actually root for them to succeed. I really don't know what Ranger fans want. Every single year, the Rangers are competitive. Every single year, they make the playoffs. Yes, they disappoint in the playoffs, but every year they make the playoffs. I understand the expectation is Stanley Cup. I get it. But every single year, the Rangers prove to you why they're just not ready yet. Now, I understand they made the Eastern Conference Final a couple of years ago against Tampa Bay. They came close, but I still don't trust this team. I don't. And that's being realistic. Some fans out there are not realistic about this team. You want a realistic fan? I can name you quite a few. One of them being me. That's why I'm doing this show. Because I want to set the record straight with those fans who just think that, oh, it's okay that everything's all wine and roses. It's okay to sometimes kick a player while he's down. No, it's not. No, it isn't. Like I said, it's okay to be optimistic about your team and worry about them at the same time. You can say, oh, I think the Rangers are going to be great this year, but I'm worried about this, or I'm worried about that, or I'm worried about them in the playoffs. It's okay to feel that way. But stop being so damn negative all the time. What does that accomplish for you? Be nice to people. Be nice to the players. Be nice to the fans. You can disagree. It's okay to agree and disagree. That's the beauty of sports talk, baby. But to constantly just bring down a fan or a player is not okay. It's not. And please lower your expectations. Please. Again, I know that's easier said than done. But you can't expect a player to go out there and have a great game every single night. You can't. It just doesn't happen. Oh my goodness. I love Ranger fans, don't get me wrong. But some of you are just really comical sometimes. Some of you are really comical, and some of you need to get a grip. All right, with that being said, before we officially wrap up this episode, I do have a couple of announcements to make. First and foremost, I mentioned a live stream. I'll be live streaming Rangers versus Vegas tomorrow, January 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Come hang out with me. It should be a fun time. Hopefully, the Rangers will find a way to win and get back to that winning formula. So again, on the THPN YouTube channel tomorrow night, January 26th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Rangers versus Vegas, I will be live streaming that game. And event announcement, I posted it on social media at BlueSeats94, but I want to say it here. New York Rangers rookie Will Cooley is doing an exclusive meet and greet at the Woodbridge Brewing Company in Woodbridge, New Jersey, and I will be in attendance. That event takes place on Saturday, February 10th at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Again, I will be there. So if you are going to that event, if you're going to be in that area and are going to the event, and if you see me there, please feel free to stop me and say hello. We'll take a picture together and talk all things Rangers hockey. If you want to go to the event but do not have tickets yet, I would encourage you to call the Woodbridge Brewing Company, because that is the only way you are able to get into this exclusive meet and greet. Again, it's at the Woodbridge Brewing Company in Woodbridge, New Jersey, a Will Cooley meet and greet, Saturday, February 10th at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. I will be there. Come hang out with your boy, and I hope to see some of you there. All right, fans, that'll wrap it up for this episode of From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this content and want to keep on seeing or hearing more, make sure that you subscribe on YouTube and on all audio platforms, and be sure to rate us 5 stars. It would mean the world to us. And again, we are sponsored by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is your #1 source for the best deals on sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, and a whole lot more. Go to SeatGeek.com or download the SeatGeek app and use promo code BLUESEATS for $20 off your first ticket purchase. That's promo code BLUESEATS at SeatGeek. Make sure you follow the Hockey Podcast Network on all socials as well, at HockeyPodNet, and subscribe to the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel as well for all of the exclusive live streams and for wall-to-wall coverage of every single team in the National Hockey League. Until the next episode, I'm Jimmy Fanizzi. This is From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast. Go Blue Shirts, and I'll catch you next time. Peace!